प्रेम सुषमापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Let us all stand, my dear friends, as we begin this beautiful night once more in worship to the divine Lord. Tonight we worship Maryada Purushottam Sriram. So this time we join in beautiful Sriram and arti. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Arati Shri Ram Mayana Jeke. Arati Shri Ramayana Jeke. Irati Kalitalang Litasya Piki. Arati Shri Ramayana. Arati Shri Ramayana Jeke. Arati Shri Ramayana Jeke. Irati Kalitalang Litasya Piki. Arati Shri Om Shri Ramaya Namaha. गावत ब्रह्मा एक मुनि नारद वाल्मीक विज्ञान विशारद सुख सनकादि शेष और शारद भरणी पवन सुत कीरति नीति. आरती श्री रामायण. गावत वेद पुराण यश दश जहो सास जब ग्रंथन को रस मुनि जन धन संतन को सरवस सारयंश सम्मत सबही की. आरती श्री राम. जय श्री राम. Salutations to the divine Lord. Kalimala Harani, Kalimala Harani, Vishaya Rasa Peke, Suvaga Sringar Mote Yuvati ki. Dalana Roga Bhava Moria Meke. Tata Mata Sabhavidi Tulasi ki. Arati Shri Ramayana. Glorifications of Allah. कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो, कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो बजरंग बली. कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो बजरंग बली. कलयुग के कपल पीछा न चोरे रामा पीछा न चोरे. कलियुग के कपल पीछा न चोरे रामा पीछा न चोरे पग पग पाप पग पग पाप पग पग पाप के गतरिया हो बजरंग बली कबलो के हमरे कबरिया हो जय बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली हो बजरंग बली 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 हो बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली सुधा हनुमान की जय बजरंग बली की जय आसन लीजिए सब लोग let us all take our seats. As we begin this beautiful night, my dear friends, once more on behalf of the members of this wonderful home and family, we take this golden opportunity to say aapko swagatam, namaskar, and a cordial welcome to each and everyone who would have come to join with us on this beautiful night to receive blessings of the Divine Lord, Prabhu Shri Ramachandra and Mahavir Swami. On this auspicious night, once more, to the members of the Celestial Gandharvas, members of my wonderful group, we say Bhagwan's blessings to them. Once more to the Guru of the Om Shanti Ashram and the entire village, we say Swagatam, cordial welcome to you. To all other Pandits, Sadhus, to all those who are here, we say Jai Sitaram to all. Tonight as well, to all those who tuned in via once more Sankhya television, to Bhaiji, Rameshji, and to all of viewers once more via Sankhya television, we say Aapko Swagatam and a Jai Sitaram. Special welcome to our beautiful Yajna. To all our Facebookers and to all those who tuned in via Facebook as well, a special welcome on this divine night, as you will once more experience the blessings and the energy of our Lord through Ramcharitramanas. At this time, as we begin, let us all sit upright. Let us close our eyes. Let us contemplate on the Divine Lord, that supreme form. And as we begin with the most powerful syllable, Omkar, we join all together. वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दुर्गारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु सरस्वती रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः ॐ नमो नारायणाय नमः ॐ त्र्यंबकेश्वराय नमः ॐ अच्युताय नमः नागेन्द्रहाराय त्रिलोचनाय भस्मांगरागाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगंबराय तस्मै नकाराय नमः शिवाय तस्मै नकाराय नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय प्रणवो पवनकुमार कलमन पावक ध्यान धन जासु हृदयागा बसहि राम सरचापधन अतुलित बलधामं हेमशैलावदेहं धनुजवन कृशानं ग्राणिनामाग्रगण्यं सकलगुणनिधानं वारणानामधीशं रघुपतिप्रियभक्तं वातजातं नमामि चरण शरण में आई के हर तिहार कष्टों से रक्षा करो कष्टों से रक्षा करो पवन पुत्र हनुमान हाथ जोर विनती करो सुनो वीर हनुमान संकट से रक्षा करो संकट से रक्षा करो हे अंजनी केला पावन पुत्र हनुमान. Beautiful Sri Hanuman Chalisa tonight. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raj Nijamana Mukura Sudha Varna Raghuvara Vimala Jasu Jodaya Kupalacha Buddhihina Tanu Janike Sumira Pavana Kumar Bala Buddhi Vidya Deho Hi Harav Kalesha Vikar Pavan Sudha Hanuman Ki Jai. Jai Shri Ram. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूता तुलित बलधामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुवेशा कानन कुंडल कुंचित किसा महावीर बलवंता जय हनुमान महावीर बलवंता पवन पुत्र हनुमान. जय श्री राम. हाथ वज्र ध्वजा विराजय कान्धे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बस्य महावीर बलवंता जय हनुमान महावीर बलवंता पवन पुत्र हनुमान. सारुते शंस्त्र बजरंग बली सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर शिवर लाए, रघुपति के लिए बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत सम भाई, महावीर बलवंता महावीर बलवंता, जय हनुमान महावीर बलवंता, पवन पुत्र हनुमान। ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। सहस वदन तुम रोज सगावे, हस गए श्रीपति कंठ लगावे, सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीषा, नारद शारद सहित ईसा, यम कुबेर दिगपाल चाहते, कवि को विद कह सके कहते, तुमो पुकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राज पर दीन्हा, महावीर बलवंता महावीर बलवंता, जय हनुमान महावीर बलवंता, पवन पुत्र हनुमान। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना, युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानो, प्रभु मोद्रिका मिलि मुख माहि, जल्दि लांघि गए अचर जनाई, दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते, महावीर बलवंता महावीर बलवंता, जय हनुमान महावीर बलवंता, पवन पुत्र हनुमान। जय श्री राम। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे, सब सुकला है तुम्हारे शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना, आपन तेज समारो आपै, तीनों लोक हांकते कापै, भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर महावीर जब नाम सुनावै, महावीर बलवंता महावीर बलवंता, जय हनुमान महावीर बलवंता, पवन पुत्र हनुमान। नासै रोग हरय सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा, संकट ते हनुमान चुरावै, मरम वचन ध्यान जो लावै, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै, महावीर बलवंता महावीर बलवंता, जय हनुमान महावीर बलवंता, पवन पुत्र हनुमान। जय श्री राम। चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दशा, महावीर बलवंता महावीर बलवंता, जय हनुमान महावीर बलवंता, पवन पुत्र हनुमान। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, अंत काल रघुबर जाए, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाए, और देवता चित्त न डरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा, महावीर बलवंता महावीर बलवंता, जय हनुमान महावीर बलवंता, पवन पुत्र हनुमान। जय बजरंग बली। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव के नाय यो शत बार पात कर कोई यू कही बंदे महासुख होए जो यहाँ पर हनुमान चालीसा हो सिद्धि सा के गौरी सा तुलसीदास दार चेरा की जयनाथ हृदय महावीर महावीर बलवंत जय हनुमान महावीर बलवंत पवन पुत्र हनुमान 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 पवन पुत्र हनुमान पवन पुत्र हनुमान प्रेम सुषमापति महादेव की जय बजरंग बली की पवन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुरभु As we begin this beautiful night, my friends, as we gather our thoughts and our energy to focus at the feet of Mahavir Swami, Sri Hanuman, as we concentrate on the beautiful form of Maryada Purushottam Prabhu Ramachandra, we begin our night in the golden pages of the Ramcharitamanas where we touch the feet of our Lord in Aranyakand. In Aranyakand, it speaks about so many things that are happening or that were happening then, and it is happening even in today's world. As we begin our night, we always allow devotees to tune the mind. With so much energy that we just felt with the Sri Hanuman Chalisa, the vibrations, the connection with Pavanaputra, we take this moment once more to begin our night in devotion through our Katha, where it is said in Ramayana, we remember where Prabhu Sri Ramachandra and Sita Mata and Lakshmana, they were exiled and they had gone into the forest for 14 years. While they had gone into the forest for the 14 years, during the period of being in the forest, they enjoyed every part of it, except the part of the end. It is said 3/4 of the journey of Prabhu Shri Ram and Lakshmana and Sita Mata through the forest was a beautiful one. The journey was a wonderful one. They were going through the forest, and even though they were walking barefooted, they enjoyed the valleys and the streams and the rivers. They enjoyed the company of many holy saints and sadhus. And the experience of the path of life that we will tread in this world, we will experience good and bad. Expect in life that when you live every single day, from the day of birth until you die, you will experience good and bad. Life is filled of pairs of opposites. It is filled with raga dvesha. It is said wherever there is sweet, there must be sour. You cannot tell what is sweet if you have never tasted sour. Wherever there is happiness, there will be unhappiness. There will be sorrows. Wherever there is good, there will be bad. Raga dvesha in Bhagavatam. Today, my friends, even though Prabhu Ram came to the earth and he is Lord of the universe, even then, he had to show the world, as he stands for Dharma, how to rise above the bad parts of the world in his life. How to rise above the troubles that he will face. Many people say, you know what, while living on the earth, we go through so many problems. I just want to go to God. God shows us that even when Prabhu Ram came to the earth, when you have this body, the body will come with karmic reactions. The body will come with troubles. The body will come with negativities. The body will bring forth anger and hatred and jealousy and lust and greed and malice, temptations. And Prabhu Ram shows the world as the beautiful epitome of righteousness, how to rise above this default of the body. As we begin this night, we will begin with a beautiful chant. And when we chant to Bajranga Bali, we say, Lord, take this golden opportunity to worship our Lord. You are the one who is filled with peace. Lord Hanumanji has been known to be the one who is filled with inner peace. He will sit amidst everything in the world and he will say, Jai Shri Ram. Mahavir Swami's messages and the kathas of Lord Hanumanji shows that no matter where he is, Jai Shri Ram. He's about to fight Ravana, Jai Shri Ram. He's sitting at the feet of Prabhu, Jai Shri Ram. He has to cross the vast ocean to find Sita Devi. No matter what problems or situations came before him, Jai Shri Ram. Meet it with the name of God. No matter what takes place in your life, Meet it with the name of God, my friends, and meet it with a smile. Because when you put God first, everything else works for you. Rama bolo, Rama bolo, bolo, bolo Ram. Rama bolo, Rama bolo, bolo, bolo Ram. All together. Rama bolo, Rama bolo, bolo, bolo Ram. 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 Om Shri Ramaya Namaha. Mata we pray. Sita bolo, Sita bolo, bolo Sita Ram. Sita bolo, Sita bolo, bolo Sita Ram. To Shri Hanuman Ji we sing tonight. All together boliye. Hanuman bolo, Hanuman bolo, bolo Hanuman. Hanuman bolo, Hanuman bolo, bolo Hanuman. Oh, Hanuman bolo, Hanuman bolo, bolo Hanuman. Sriram. All together. Rama bolo, Rama bolo, bolo, bolo Ram. As we worship our Lord Prabhu Ramachandra tonight, my friends, sing along, clap. Wherever you are in this world and you've taken a moment to touch the feet of Bajrangabali, you will receive a spark of divinity. You will receive an aura or receive an aura of protection. And all you need to do is to sing, to clap, and to feel the vibrations of our chants. Rama bolo, Rama bolo, bolo, bolo Ram. Rama bolo, Rama bolo, bolo, bolo Ram. Bolo, bolo Ram. Bolo, bolo Ram. Bihari Lal ki Jai. As we begin this beautiful night, friends, it is said when Prabhu Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana, Sita Mata, when they went into the forest and they were residing happily and comfortable, they enjoyed the bliss of meeting all the holy ones. It is a blessing to meet a holy person. It is a blessing to walk up to someone or to even be in the company of those who are chanting the name of God every single time. It is a blessing and for us to appreciate when we are in the company of the holy people. Ramayana says, Binu satsangavi vekarna hoi. Binu satsanga vivekana hoi. Vivek, which means dispassion. It is said by the chanting, this constant repetition and the company of the holy people, we eradicate all the negativities from our path automatically. Sometimes you say, you know what, if bad things are happening in my life, I have to pray. I have to do yajna. I have to do japa. I have to do chants and worship for God. And yes, it helps to elevate us. But sometimes also just being in the company of holy people helps to put us on the stage and on the first step to start elevating ourselves. Be in the company of those who are always engaged in prayer and worship and devotion. The right devotion with the right mentality and the right motive. Today, Prabhu Rama, he is Lord of the universe, and when he walks through the forest, he will go with Sita Mata, and everywhere he will see a little kutia, he will go there. He will visit the saints and the sadhus and the maharishis and the mahants and all those who are worshipping the deities, and he will walk into the ashram, and if anybody had any crisis or issue, he will resolve them. He was Prabhu Ramachandra. Alongside him was the incarnation of Sheshnag, who was none other than Lakshmana. And the Katha begins where on that particular day, when the sister of Ravana saw Prabhu Ram, she says, if the Lord would have created such a wonderful being to walk on the earth, then I want him to be mine. I want him to belong to me. I want him to only walk with me and walk beside me. And on that day, as we know it, the Katha mentions that she tried to persuade the Lord to speak to her, to walk back with her, to go with her. Until Lakshmana walked up to her and he says, whoever you are, have respect for my brother. Have respect for the Lord of the universe. Do you respect God? That's a big question and a beautiful question. Do you respect God? If you are thinking in your mind as to that question, if you respect God, let us start very small first. Do you respect yourself? Do you respect the people around you? And then do you respect God? Do you respect yourself that when you walk into society, you're dressed in a certain way? You speak in a certain way? You live up to a standard in the world as that wonderful human being according to your dharma and your brought up see? Do you walk alongside the world according to your dharma, the path of righteousness? Bhagavad Gita says, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamaka pandavasheva kima kuravata sanjaya. That first word in Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavatam, which simply says, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre. Dharma, first and foremost. Do you walk and tread a path of righteousness? First, you must respect yourself. And how do you do it? If you want the world to respect you, you must walk on a righteous path. You must live on a good path. You must do good things. You must help people. You must motivate people. And they will look up to you. You must be a person in society according to your bratapsi and your dharma. You live on a certain role and discipline. That when they see you, when the world sees you, when they simply hear your name, they can attach discipline and positivity to it. They say, you know what? Wow. The name alone says divine. The name alone says a positive energy. It is one that the minute you hear the name, you want to become attached, you want to meet, you want to greet. It is like hearing a holy saint or a sadhu or swami of Bharadesh, India, coming into our lands. And when we hear that great name, you just want to be there. To those who would have been to India, to those who have visited Baba Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai, it is said that Sai Baba sat down right there in his ashram in Prashanti. And when Baba sat there, millions of people around the world left what they were doing just to come there. People said they had dreams. People said they felt an energy. People said that they just heard his name out aloud. People said they just saw him walking in their businesses. And while he's all the way in India, people were all over the world witnessing and hearing and visualizing and having the energy of him in their homes and in their rooms and wherever they were around the world. And they were connected to just drift towards him. His name, Shri Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai. We wanted to be there. Everybody wanted to go there. To those who've ever been there were thousands and thousands of people on a daily basis lined up in lines to just walk in, just to step on the same ground that he walked on. That is how powerful the name was. He would walk on the ground of the ashram and people just wanted to be there. People just wanted to sit there. If it were to be announced that he will come and give a speech, they're crowded and filling the atmosphere just to be there. They're squeezing up there. Even if you're sitting at the last point in the ashram and you could barely see, you feel contented and peace. You know why? Because I am here. When that name utters, Baba has entered the ashram, you feel at ease. You just want to glance the little robe, the little orange robe moving there, and you say, wow, I'm in his presence. That is how powerful the name was in itself. Be connected to that wonderful energy. Respect yourself, my friends, and bring up your dharma. After you respect you, then you respect the people around you. You respect the people in your company. You treat them as though God is walking around you. You treat them as though you love them, you respect them, you acknowledge them, you appreciate them, you give gratitude towards them. You appreciate the little things that they're doing before you. In life, sometimes it doesn't hurt for the husband. Sometimes they say, Madolehin, you make a nice roti today. You might say, yeah, Baba, I eat plenty of rotis, 40-something years now, we married now, don't study that. But sometimes it takes one little word to create back this spark. It takes one little word to just create a love or a union or something that is positive within a home. Sometimes all it takes is for a child to say, Mommy, you really get up 3 o'clock to cook for me? Thank you, Mom. It takes a little word of appreciation to go a long way. And then most importantly, do you show up, or would you show respect? And do you show respect to God? How do you respect God? You live discipline in the world. You live according to dharma. You live according to the path of righteousness. You do good things. You motivate people. You inspire people. You live out a disciplined life. As we say, lead by example. And you allow the world to follow, my friends, in the path of Godhead. In our scripture, Lakshmana says, have you no respect for my brother? And if you have no respect for my brother, then how can I even respect you? Leave from here, please. The sister of Ravana, she says, whoever you are, I did not come to see you. I came to see Sriram. And when she mentioned thus, scripture tells us that Lakshmana says, if you want to meet my brother, you will have to meet me first. I will protect my brother at all cost. Will you protect your family at all cost? Listen. Sriram Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Oh. Everybody boli. Jai Shri Ram. Sabachi namo ho, sabachi moho ho, ye hamaru mona. Jo kachu tirata rakhe ho kari mora. Shri Ram Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya. Oh. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Jai Shri Ram. Oh, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram, Jaya Rama. बोलिए सबको. Shri Ram, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. Vrindavan mein Hari Lal ki jai. While respect must be given, my friends, Lakshmana says, if you want to reach my brother, you must pass through me first. So Lakshmana stands in front of Prabhu Ram. And when it is said, the sister of Ravana, she complained again and again. Lakshmana, my friends, he took his arrow and he took the sharp edge of the arrow. And it is said, he scratched on the nose, cutting the nose of Supernaka. He then cut the ears of the sister of Ravana. And being enraged now in anger, look at how you have made me look today. Look at what you've done to my body. Look at what you've done to make me look from a most beautiful person. You've destroyed my face. Today you will pay the price. What shall you see? And she turned around and she walked away. When she walked away angrily, Lakshmana, he felt at peace. The problem has left. Devotees, while Supernaka had a good heart, on that day, while her face and while her ears and her nose was disfigured and cut, she felt at that point that her beauty had disappeared. What creates and what shows the beauty of a person? Is it just the physical body? Many of us take time in our daily schedule. Many of us take time in our daily life to stand in front of the mirror for how long? How long do you stand in front of the mirror? So devotees who are tuned in via Facebook can't see how many people here tonight, right? So how many people here tonight took 15 minutes to stand in front of that mirror to get ready before you come? Let me see. Let me start small. 5. Yeah, Narish. 10. 15. Good? Half an hour. 45. 1 hour. Jai Bhagwan. They rarely say the Dolaha is free, the Dolahin. They can't see, but even right here when I say 1 hour. And even 2 hours, right? Even 2 hours. How long do we take to dress ourselves before we go out? How long do we take to look at ourselves in front of the mirror? When we look at ourselves, yes, it is said in many scriptures, you must love yourself before you love anybody else. But how long will you stare at yourself to not just love yourself, but how much will you allow the ego of yourself to once more be all into you, forgetting that the world still exists? It is said we must always ensure that we look wonderful and look beautiful and look handsome and look everything else. But are we becoming too much into ourselves sometimes? Supernaka was like this, a scratch on the nose. The ears has been cut. You know what? You've destroyed my life and for that you will die. Think about it. Think of the extent of the mentality of Supernaka. Think of the mentality, you've simply scratched my skin and today you will die for that. How much was she into herself that was that big problem in the world that today, what happened? As a result, Ramayana made its name as the epic because of the ego of Supernaka. She turned around and she walked away and she stamped her feet and she walked away. And while walking, Lakshmana says, Prabhu, as long as I'm here, the world will worship and respect you. The world will love you. They will see what God's worship is supposed to be. You stand for your dharma and your dharma will protect you. You stand for your God and your God will protect you. No matter what in the world, people will try to disfigure us. People will try to break us. People will try to break your mind. People will try to stop you. Friends, when you pray to God, forget the world. Concentrate and worship the Almighty. That is why when Sant Valmiki Ji and Tulsidas, when they sat down by themselves and they were about to write the Ramcharitamanas, the birds were passing by and they looked at the atmosphere and they saw the birds. It is said animals were running across and they stopped to pause and to listen. And they decided, you know what, today I will write this great epic and nobody will disturb me. It is said hunters would pass in the village, they would pass in the forest while they were writing and nothing will disturb them. Coming to the end of writing the Ramcharitamanas, even Valmiki had encountered people who came up to him and said, "What are you doing in the forest by yourself? Leave." And he turned a blind eye. When you pray, forget the world. This is what they created. Jo sumirata siddhi ho, gananayaka kari vada vadana, karo anugrahaso, bodhirasi subha guna sadana. जो सुमिरता सिद्धि हो, गणनायक करिवड़ बरना, जारहु अनुग्रह सो, बोधिरासि शुभ गुण सदना. जय श्री राम. मुका होई वाचा, पंगु चरय गिरिवर गहना, जासु कृपा सुदया, द्रवहु सकल कलिमल दहना. नील सरोरुहस्याम, तरुणा अरुणा बारे जनयना, करौ शुभम ऊर्ध्वा, सदा क्षीर सागर शयना. क्या बात. Everybody all together. सबको प्यारी. कुंदयेन्दु समदेहा, उमारमण करुणायना, जाहि दीन परने, करहो कृपा मरदन मयना. बंदा गुरु परकंद, कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरि, महामोह तमपोर, जासु वचन रवि कर निकरा, श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज, निज मन मुकुर सुधार, वरना रघुवर विमल यश, जोदायक फलता, बुद्धिहीन तनु जानकी, सुमिरो पवन कुमार, बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि, हरहु कलेश निर्विकार सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। Friends and bhaktas, when Lakshmana stood up for Prabhu Ramachandra, this sister of Ravana went back now to Ravana. She says, Bhai, brother, you are the powerful, most powerful one that I could think about. Look at what people have done to me. Look at how I look now. I need to hide my face. I need to hide myself. Nobody will love me for the way I am anymore. Why do people love us? For what reason do people love us? For how we look? For how we dress? For how we physically appear to them? Or is it that people should love us for who we really are? Our qualities, our character, being a noble person. Many people look and with the physical appearance we judge immediately. Look at him. Look at how he walks. Have you ever heard the word pakkar? Have you ever heard the word puhar? Yeah. Sometimes you hear people say it out loud. Look at he, but he real puhar boy. But he real pakkar boy. Do people judge us because of how we look and how we operate in the world? Or is it that we should be judged by our quality, our decency, our discipline, our inborn nature, our swabhav, who we really are from the inside? Remember, the true beauty of an individual lies in the qualities of that individual. The true beauty of an individual lies in the character, the personality, how he lives with people, how he lives in the world as an individual, how he works around situations and how he coexists with the people around him without animosity and without enemies. Do you have enemies in your life? Are you an enemy to people in your life? Probably. But do you have enemies? It is said a pure-souled person is one, my friends, that even if the world becomes an enemy to you, in your heart, your conscience remains free. Do not hold on to enemies and animosity, but live with a pure mind and a pure conscience, so that when you're ready to leave this world, you leave with nothing at hand, no karmas to come back and pay for. Just today in a puja, a devotee was reminding me about this. When a child is born, the hand of the child is like this, right? Why? To hold on to mommy. Scientifically, according to one of the godsons today, it is said scientifically the child has been born in such a way to grab and to hold on to mommy and never let go. It is the attitude and the nature that will simply be instilled in the child from birth, from the heartbeat of the mother's connection. Hold on and do not let go, so the child will hold on tight. It is said the child comes in the world with barely any karma, so the hands are closed with nothing. But when an individual dies and you look at that personality, they die with the hands like this, spread out, filled with the karmas to take back into the astral world. And then I was giving the example that in life, if you want to see as a little test how much karma you have so far, then just rest your hand right there without even putting energy into it. Rest it right there, and with no energy, see if it closes in or see if it remains open, and see from this point how much karma you have so far. You'll check it when you go home. You might feel bad. If you hold it like this and you're not closing it and people watching, you might be like, yeah, it closing in, man. See how much karma so far. Why with the hands? It is because the hands has our destiny. Remember we spoke about it last night? The destiny has been written in our hands by the devatas on the 6th day and the 12th day when we were born. So when you feel it, the energy through your destiny, how much karma do you have remaining in this world? How much do you have to still pay for? Or are you now relieving yourself of karma so the hands are closed in 3/4 at least? Today, think about it. We live in society and we create karmas upon karmas every single day. And while we're living with these karmas, all it takes is for you to be simple and humble and rid yourself. While she's all into the physicality of herself, she calls on her brother and she says, please destroy the person who has made me look like this. She doesn't see that beauty comes from inside, but the rage from within her is only allowing her to build the ego more, to show the world that she needs to look better on the outside. It is an automatic reaction that people will love you when what is the inside, or in the inside, reflects on the outside. But if outside is the only beauty that you know, nobody knows what is going on inside there. Today, friends, being simple is the way of the world. Do you remember this beautiful bhajan? राम गुण गाय के, राम गुण गाय के मगन भय तुलसी, राम गुण गाय के मगन भय तुलसी, राम गुण गाय के. Beautiful bhajan that speaks about the simplicity of life. How simple you are supposed to be in the world. Not because you have a bigger house than the neighbor. Not because your house is more pretty than your brother one. Not because your car is bigger or more expensive. Not because you dress better than somebody else makes you feel that you're better than anybody. Not because you can probably afford something that somebody else can't means in the midst of them you put them down and you show them that, you know what, I could do that, man, don't worry about it. You, whenever you're ready, you know, I know it's hard. Not because we can do better than some people means that we must show the world that we are better than people. Remember, in the eyes of God, we are all equal. Beautiful bhajan goes like this. When Ravana heard the plight of his sister, he got up in a rage and he decided to now march to find a solution to destroy the Sriram. Anger and rage started to build inside him. Only because of seeing the physicalities of the world. When life is not about the physicalities of the world, it is not about the headaches of the world, but simplicity creates the easiest way out of any situation. Ram guna gaay ke, Rama guna gaay ke, Rama guna gaay ke, Rama guna gaay ke, Magana bhaya. मगन भय हो मगन भय तुलसी, राम गुण गाय के मगन भय तुलसी, राम गुण गाय के. Everybody. राजा चले हाथी गोरा पलकी सजाए के, राजा चले हाथी गोरा. राजा चले हाथी गोरा पलकी सजाए के, साधु चले भूया भूया, साधु चले भूया भूया, चुनती बचाए के. मगन भय मगन भय ओ मगन भय तुलसी, राम गुण गाय के मगन भय तुलसी, राम गुण गाय के. Remember the beautiful bhajan says that when a king travels and he's riding on his golden chariot, to the man who walks on the road, he will look down at him and he will laugh and say, look at you. I am the king. When you see me, you must get off the road. Respect me. He doesn't care where he's going. He knows that I am better than you because I have a vehicle to go by. You go ahead, however long you take to go from point A to point B. I don't care. I am better than you. Just move when you see me. There are some people in today's world who live like that. When you see me, I must move aside. When you see me coming, you must make way. Some people think like that, my friends. Instead of unity, friends, we split up the world of love and devotion. The bhajan says, Raja chale hathi gora palaki sajaye ke, Raja chale hathi gora. So the Raja, the king, he goes on the chariot and he holds the reins of the horses. And while he's moving forward, he will look down at the man on the road and he will laugh at him. But you know what? The man looks at the king and with a bigger mentality, with the better person inside, he says, look at this fool. He has a chariot and the horses taking him and he thinks he's big. God has blessed me with my feet and with my own energy. I will walk from the same point A to point B and I will take my time and along the journey of life, I will enjoy the little things that I see. He can't even enjoy nature. He can't enjoy nothing he sees because he's just moving. I can take my time and I can see the blessing of the world. So he says, Sadhu chale bhuya bhuya, sadhu chale bhuya bhuya, chunti bachaye ke. राजा सोहे महल महला कमरी बचाए के, राजा सोहे महल महला. राजा सोहे महल महला कमरी बचाए के, सर चले भूया भूया, साधु चले भूया भूया, अमृत चले बचाए के. So the king, he lives in a palace and he has a big house, he has a big mahal, a big palace. And when he goes to sleep in his big room with his nice big bed, he lies down there, but with all the responsibilities of a kingdom, he can't even sleep properly. But the man of God, sadhu chale bhuya bhuya, sadhu chale bhuya bhuya, amrit chale bachaye ke. the man of God has nothing to worry about. So if he doesn't even have a home while walking and night falls, he could lie down on the ground. He could simply lie down, look at the stars and say, Lord, under the tree that I'm lying under, thank you for the cover, the blanket of the skies. Thank you for the cover of the trees above me. And thank you for the beauty that I see in the sky with all the stars, so that I can sleep happily and comfortable. A simple man appreciates life. People appreciate. Good people, pure-hearted people appreciate. And to those whose heart are messed up in the world, it is the hardest thing for somebody to say, I appreciate you. Simple people will always show gratitude in the world. राजा काई पूरी कचौरी लड़की मंगाए के राजा काई पूरी कचौरी राजा काई पूरी कचौरी लड़की मंगाए के सरुकाए सुखी सत्व साधु काए सुखी सत्व पुनिया मलाई के राजा काई पूरी कचौरी क्या बात when you hear puri and kachori and laddu ki mangai ke अरे क्या बात you get hungry one time laddu chapati food you think about something to eat when the king sits down there anything he wants to eat he has to snap a finger and everything comes whatever he wants it will come because he's the king he's the ruler he can command but a man of God think about it when the king sees food he doesn't care he starts to eat ravishly he will eat anything that he wants a man of God may walk on the road Sadhu ka e sukhi satwa punya malai ke. A man who walks on the road and probably barely has anything to eat, the minute he gets a mouthful, Lord, thank you so much. Shri Krishna Arpanam. Do you thank God for what you have? Do you thank God for the clothes that you wear? There are some people who have to wear one piece of clothes every day of the week. There are some people who probably have one pair of clothes when you have to go to a function and you can't afford something else. There are people who thank God for everything they have because they barely have. And there are people who have an excess and we forget to even say, Lord, thank you. Who are we in the world? Are we simple-minded? Or are we the ones who are filled with the ego? Ram guna gaay ke, Rama guna gaay ke, Ram guna gaay ke, Rama guna gaay ke, Magana bhaya, Magana bhaya, oh Magana bhaya tulasi. Ram guna gaay ke, Magana bhaya tulasi. Ram guna gaay ke, Rama guna gaay ke, Ram guna gaay ke, Rama guna gaay ke, Rama guna gaay ke, Rama guna gaay ke. Vrindavan mein Hari Lal ki. Friends and bhaktas, tonight when Ravana heard that his sister had been ridiculed, he dropped everything and he says to the man who would have done this, I will destroy his life. Somebody find out what has happened. He sent some of his best ministers and army from his kingdom to go find out who it was. It is said when the best of the ministers went down there, the best of the army went down, Lakshmana confronted them before they could even reach Prabhu Ramachandra and he says, where have you come from? Have you come from that woman who has come to contradict the mind of my brother? If you walk further, I will destroy you. And they walked further thinking that I've come from the clan of Ravana, we are powerful. They thought to themselves that Ravana would have been the best person and the most powerful in the world. So they overstepped their boundaries. And while overstepping, what happened? Lakshmana mounted his arrow and he destroyed them all one by one. Bhaktas, there's always that limit line that we must know not to cross in life. There must always be that line in the world when we think that we're becoming too much engrossed in the world, pull back. Probably I'm not feeling myself now. You know what? I've been a person who prays a lot and today this doesn't feel saintly. Probably this part of my life doesn't feel holy enough. Something is happening. My conscience is beating me. Something is probably wrong. You know what? Let me take a moment to step back a little bit. Today Lakshmana destroyed them. And when the news had reached once more Ravana that his 3 best ministers of the army had been destroyed, he says, I will take it upon myself to do what I have to do today. So what does he do? He leaves his kingdom and he goes to the shores of the ocean. And being at the shores of the ocean, he meets one of his sorcerers. He goes up to the sorcerer and while he sees him there, he's asking him now, he's saying, what are you doing here? Do you have time? I want to have a conversation with you. I want to speak with you. So at that point, the sorcerer says, well, I'm not living far from here. Let us go to my home. And he allows the king, Ravana, to follow him. He feels nice. He feels special. The king has left his kingdom to come down to meet me. Something had to be nice and right. Something has to be good. The king has left everything to come and look for me. So he has reached his home and he opens the door and he says, Raja, 1 minute. He goes into the home and he prepares a thali. He prepares a tari with an arti, and he takes a lot of water. And then after a few minutes, he opens the door. He says, Prabhu, Ravana, andar aaye. Baito na. And he washes the feet. Remember, Ravana was a great guru also. Ravana was a great philosopher. Ravana was a great Sanskrit scholar. He was one of the best in the world, in the universe. At that point, he was respected. Even though he had his ups and downs, he was respected as the most powerful on the earth. Even though many would have feared him, he was respected. That individual, that sorcerer, was none other than Marich. Marich says, Ravana, andar aaye, baito na, take a seat. And Marich takes water and he starts to wash the feet of the Guru. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. It is said while he would wash the feet of the Guru, he will tell Ravana after washing the feet, wait 1 minute, and he will go and bring water for Ravana. When a guest comes to your home, how do you treat them? Yeah. Tell them, Miyadi. Tell them, come back. Tell them, I say, I'm not home. How do you treat the guests when they come by you? You treat them with warm love, my friends, with a respect, with that beautiful welcome. Because when they leave unsatisfied, they take barakat from your home and they go. When they leave unsatisfied, not knowing, my friends, we would not know, they leave unsatisfied and they take some of the happiness of our home and they go with it. Because they came to your abode and they left unsatisfied. He doesn't want this to happen, Marich. So he says, you're a guru. I pay pranams to you. Let me take the water that has washed your feet and let me sprinkle it everywhere. Drink of something, Ravana, please. And after doing everything, he comes and he sits down and he says, Ravana, you are the greatest of all. What has allowed you to leave your kingdom and to come down to my little kutia, my little home? Please tell me, how can I help you, Ravana? You are Raja, you are king. How can I help you? And Raja says, do you know you are one of my most powerful sorcerers? Do you know I appreciate you? Do you know in the past for everything you'd have done, every time I called you, I've treated you to the best because you are the best that I have? And now he starts to think. Somebody come by you and they start to now speak nice about you. How you call it? Mamagai. They start to mamagai you. You realize something is up because he won't leave a kingdom and come down just to talk nice to me. Yeah, you're nice and you're good. Let me give you something. No. Something wrong here. Your mama guide me. Ravana, kya hua? Batao na, what is wrong? Tell me. And Ravana says, listen, let me tell you. Do you know that man that people are talking about? The man who was walking in the forest? He says, are you talking about Sriram? Hare, listen. That man who is walking in the forest, let me tell you about him. You call him Sriram, whatever his name is, I don't know. That man who is walking in the forest, I have something I want to tell you. And I want you to listen. And before Ravana speaks, he says, oh, I know. You see that person you're talking about? His name is Ram Prabhu. Listen, he is the Lord. Everybody's talking about him. He's Lord of the universe coming on the earth. And Ravana starts to bite his teeth now. He starts to grind his teeth now. But he's listening because he wants a favor. When people want a favor to use you, they come and they sit quiet and they wait and they grind until time right, and then they say, all right, well, here what? You know what? I can't take it no more. I want you to do this and I want you to do that. Is either you like it or not? When they can't take it anymore, then they come straight forward, right? Marich starts to praise the name of Prabhu Ram. Why is he praising? He says, Ravana, let me tell you, you remember one day you called me to go to the forest and you wanted me to destroy one of the ashrams and you wanted me to throw dirt into the fire? It was that same Ram Prabhu who took an arrow, and when the arrow struck me, I felt thousands of miles away. He is powerful. Do you want him to come and join you? That's why you come to ask me for something? What have you come to ask me? And he's praising. Haven't you heard his name? दूर करे वो ही संकट तेरे, दूर करे वो ही संकट तेरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। प्रभु का नाम, प्रभु का नाम, प्रभु का नाम जपो मन मेरे। Haven't you heard his name? He is Sriram. He lives, my friends, in the forest at this point in time, but his name goes for miles. दूर करे वो ही संकट तेरे, प्रभु का नाम जपो मन मेरे। His name is powerful. He has taken an avatar. He has come from above. Don't you know Ravana? Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. बोलिए, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare। प्रभु का नाम, प्रभु का नाम, प्रभु का नाम जपो मन में। And he's praising again and again. He's praising. That name is powerful. Ravana, I want you to listen. Do you want me to go meet him and talk to him for you? Ravana says exactly so. But listen, I want you to trick him. I want you to befriend him. I want you to fool him up. How many friends in your life fool you up? How many friends in your life trick you? How many friends in your life are false and they're laughing with you but they really don't like you? Reality of the world, my friends. Reality of the world. Don't wait and when they backbite you and they cut you down, you say, oh God, I should have known. Do not expect, my friends, that the friendship of the world will last forever. People will go to mandir together, even in the name of God. They will go to mandir together and be the best people together. And in the end, when they fall out, so you hear somebody say, well, I was only using him because I was getting a right to the temple. I was only using him because I was getting a right to the yajna. I really don't like him. And you hear the littlest things that people have the problems with. Who are your friends? Who will stand with you? As the saying goes, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Who will really be there in the time of need when you really need them? Who's a true friend that you can trust when you really need them? Today, Ravana is asking now Marich. He says, Suna ho priya brata ruchi sushila, मैं कछु कर भी ललित नरलीला, तुम पावक महो करहो निवासा, जो लगी करहो निशिचर करनासा। बोलिए everybody, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। हे प्रिय, हे सुंदर, पवित्र धर्म के पालन करने वाले, सुनो, मैं अब कुछ मनोहर मनुष्य लीला करूंगी, इसलिए तुम तब तक अगन में निवास करो जब तक मैं इन चारों रे का कष्ट करूं है। Marich says, Ravana, I will never do anything to hurt Prabhu Ram. He's powerful. Ravana, I will never befriend. He's Lord of the universe. I will never befriend him. Can you befriend God? Can you trick God? Can you fool God? Can you think, or do you think you can hide and do something and God will never know in the world? Can you befriend God, my friends? God knows your mind. God knows your intentions. He knows what is to be. He knows your destiny. He knows what will happen. The best you can do is be your true self before God. When you sit to pray, there are no stories. God, you know my heart. You know my life. You know what is to happen. You know what will happen. Please, Lord, guide me. Friends, At that point, when Maricha decided to say, Ravana, I will not do such a thing to befriend God. Ravana says, he says, think carefully now. Listen to me. Think carefully. I'm in a really good, relaxed mind right now. Think carefully. And before you give your answer, think about your family. Think about your nice wife. Think about your children. In other words, he starts threatening him. In the mind of Maricha, who are you to threaten me when it comes to my family? Who are you to threaten me when it comes to my Lord? People will, in the mind of mentally, to try to break you. People will threaten us physically. Have your faith in the Divine Lord. While Maricha thinks about it, this is what comes to his mind. सुनहो प्रिया व्रत रुचिर सुशीला मैं कछु कर भी ललित नर लीला श्री राम जय राम जय तुम पावक माहो करहु निवासा जो लगी करहु निशाचर नासा श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. It is said, my dear friends, Maricha thought about it in his mind. Ravana is threatening me that if I don't take this moment to decide that I will stand up according to his wishes, then Ravana will destroy my family. He thinks about it, and in his mind, he says, you know what? Ramayana says in Aranyakand, तब मारीच ने मन ही मन अनुमान किया कि शास्त्री बेर जाने वाले हैं. समर्थ, स्वामी, मूर्खा, धनवान, वैद्य, भात, कवि और रसियों ने 9 लोगों से वैर करने में कल्याण नहीं है. He says in life, there are 9 people that you should never become an enemy with. Who are these 9? You must never become enemies with certain people. It will not benefit you to become enemies. He says first, it will not benefit you to become an enemy of somebody who is armed. If somebody is armed or they have a weapon and you are their enemy, what will happen? Ram Naam Satya hai. If somebody has a gun and you're the enemy, what will happen? If somebody has a sword and you're the enemy, what will happen? They will destroy you. He says it is not good to become an enemy of an armed person. It is not good to become an enemy of one who knows your secrets, because they will tell everybody. It doesn't benefit you to become an enemy of a powerful person, a powerful master, because even spiritually, they can destroy you. It will not benefit you to become an enemy of a wealthy man. Because with wealth, people can destroy you. With wealth, they can find their way around to do anything that they want and they can destroy you. It does not benefit you to become an enemy of a doctor. Jai Bhagwan. He might put your lungs where your liver is. He might replace some part and something will go wrong. He might cut you in a wrong spot and he might destroy you. You never become an enemy with a doctor or one wrong medicine. Jai Bhagwan. It does not benefit you to become an enemy of a spokesperson, because in the public they will speak about you and they'll discredit you. It doesn't benefit you to become an enemy with a poet, because blindly they will write about you and then you will hear about it. And last he says, and this one I think is the most important one. It does not benefit you to become an enemy with a cook. With a cook. Why? Itna tu karna Swami jab prana. Yeah, they could poison you. Something they could put in that food, and after that, Ram Nam Satya hai, down to the shores. Maricha is thinking, you know what? He's a powerful person. He's a wealthy person. He's an armed person. You know what? I can't become an enemy of Ravana. But then how can I save my family? Would I have to sacrifice my life? And then he thinks for a second, but wait a minute. Probably that is the best thing to do. Rather than dying at the hands of Ravana, I can die at the hands of Prabhu. So either or I have to die. But you know what? At least the sight, my last sight will be the sight of the beautiful form of the Divine Lord. So he takes it upon himself and he says, you know what? Ravana, what do you want me to do? You know what? Leave my family alone. I will do what it takes. And at that point, he gets up and he says, you know what? Forget my family. I will do it. What do you want me to do? Ravana says, distract that one who is called Ram Prabhu. My sister has been ridiculed. I will teach them how I can ridicule that woman who walks with them as well. And there the plan is set. And while the plan is set, Maricha will take his form. He will transform and he will take his form, like we know, to have the form of the golden deer. And will try to distract the world, my friends. He will try to distract the Divine Lord. In our scripture tonight, it is said when Lord Hanumanji had gone to meet Sugriv, in that part of our Ramcharitamanas, he met with Sugriv, and there Sugriv wanted to overcome his brother Bali for the kingdom. And after Sugriv conquered the kingdom, Sugriv had gone to live in his kingdom now, and he says it's the monsoon season. After the monsoon season, at that point, I will be able to now help you to fight the war and to retrieve Sita Mata. But while he was engrossed in the niceties of the kingdom, time is passing and he forgot all about the fight of the war and the fight for Sita Mata. And who came there that day? When we forget who we are and we want to stand up for even God. You know do you stand up for God? Do you know people who stand up for God? Do you know how many people stand up in the altar and they look at the Murti and they say, God, why? Why? Tell me. Tell me why. Why me? And they're shouting at the Murti and they're yelling at the Murti. And they're asking God, why me? You better, you know. There are some people, they don't know where to vent, so they go into the mandir. Jai Bhagwan, Bhagwan has to listen to it. And Bhagwan smiles and he says, look at my devotee. Look at the manner in which my devotee is now taking out his frustration. When Hanumanji stood there, he says, Jai Sriram. He says today, Sugriv, you need to wake up. Wake up yourself in the world that you're living in and start dedicating yourself to your master. The Lord will help you and He will save you and He will show you again and again, time and time again. He will show you how He will save you through His miracles and His goodness. But when we sit down in the world, we become lazy and we forget how to be grateful. Lord Hanumanji says, one of the greatest sins in the world is to be ungrateful to my Lord. And if you're ungrateful, I will wake you up with the gada if I have to. I will wake you up with a blow if I have to. Tonight, wake up mentally, my friends. We are living in a world where the pandemic is taking over the world. And before we take a moment to sit and pray in our homes, what are we doing? We are sitting, my friends, every day and looking for the days to pass and the weeks to pass, and when will COVID done, and when we will come out, and when we will be able to go back to the yajna, and when we will go to the temples, rather than sit in your home by yourself and forget the world and say, Om Namah Shivaya. What are you waiting for to pray? Do you know what it is with us? People, devotees of God, they give so much excuses in the world when it comes to pray. Say God, and well, it's COVID, we can't pray. We can't go outside. I don't have a good mass to go. Don't have a proper mass to probably attend. I can't do it. All the excuses in the world when it comes to God, we have it. Complain when it comes to prayer. But when it comes to everything else is good. Listen, friends. Pavan Sudha Hanuman ki Jai Kapisha. We wake up with the energy of Lord Hanumanji tonight. Jai Jai Kapisha, Jai Kapisha Hanumanta. Jai Kapisha, Jai Jai Kapisha, Jai Kapisha Hanumanta. Jai Kapisha, Jai Jai Kapisha, Jai Kapisha Hanumanta. Jai Jai Kapisha, Jai Kapisha Hanumanta. Jai Kapisha, Jai Jai Kapisha, Jai Kapisha Hanumanta. Vayudeva Vanaravira, Vayudeva, Vayudeva. Vayudeva Vanaravira, Anjaneya, Anjanatanaya, Anjaneya, Anjanatanaya. Jai Kapisha, Jai Jai Kapisha, Jai Kapisha Hanumanta. Arbuttakaya Vanaravira, Arbuttakaya Baba, Arbuttakaya. Arbuttakaya Vanaravira, Brahmachari Chiranjeevi, Brahmachari Chiranjeevi. Jai Kapisha, Jai Jai Kapisha, Jai Kapisha Hanumanta. Jai Bajrangabali. Wake up, my friends, tonight. Wake up the energy within you. Wake up the spark of Pavanaputra. And while we're here, don't just sit there. Wherever you are in the world, to all those who tuned in tonight, take a moment and wake up that energy. Clap, sing, feel the vibrations of our Lord. Lanka Dahana Jamavantara, Lanka Dahana Lankadan. Lanka Dahana Jamavantara, Lankini Samhara Hanumanta, Lankini Samhara Hanumanta. Jai Kapisha, Jai Jai Kapisha, Jai Kapisha Hanumanta. राम बंता राम दूता राम ओ राम हरि राम बंता राम दूता ज्ञान पंडित महावीर ज्ञान पंडित महावीर जय कपीसा जय जय कपीसा जय कपीसा हनुमंता जय कपीसा जय जय कपीसा जय कपीसा हनुमंता सच्चिदानंद प्राणदेव सच्चिदानंद 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 प्राणदेव सच्चिदानंद प्राणदेव सच्चिदानंद प्राणदेव हनुमंता जय हनुमंता हनुमंता जय हनुमंता हनुमंता जय हनुमंता हनुमंता जय हनुमंता जय कपीसा जय जय कपीसा जय कपीसा हनुमंता जय कपीसा जय जय कपीसा जय कपीसा हनुमंता हनुमंता बाबा हनुमंता हनुमंता वीर हनुमंता हनुमंता बाबा हनुमंता हनुमंता वीर हनुमंता हनुमंता बाबा हनुमंता हनुमंता वीर हनुमंता हनुमंता पावन सुधा हनुमान की On that day, my dear friends, it is said when Maricha took it upon himself to go before the Lord, yes, he dazzled the Lord by looking like the golden deer. Yes, at that point through temptation, he blinded the eyes of Sita Devi because she wanted that deer. But on that moment where he was caught by Prabhu Sri Ramachandra, it is said when the arrow struck him and he fell down, the voice that came out of that first word, Jai Sriram, Jai Sriram. He called out to the name of God, and like it says in that bhajan, Govinda naam lekar tab prana tan se nikale. Tonight, devotees, in our good times, in our not so good times, in our happy moments, in our sad moments, do not forget God. When we celebrate, remember God. That is why we are here tonight, because a beautiful family celebrates. And in this celebration of life, God must be first and priority. Shri Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai, Vrindavan Bihari Lala ki. With this, my friends, we end our beautiful message tonight. And while we end the message, remember to always stay simple and humble, and you will achieve the highest of goals in the world. At this time, let us all stand now as we join on our final arti. आरती श्री राम मायन जी की रमायन जी की कीरति कलित लित सियपी की आरती श्री राम मायन जी की रमायन जी की कीरति कलित लित सियपी व्यसनकारी शेष और शारद शेष और शारद गणनी पवन सुत कीरतिनी हो गावत वीर पुराण अष्टदश गावत वीर पुराण अष्टदश सहस्र सब ग्रंथन कोश मुनिजन धन संतन को सबही तुम बड़े वीर बलवान महावीर बजरंगी तुम बड़े वीर बलवान महावीर बजरंगी मैं धरो तिहारो ध्यान महावीर बजरंगी मैं धरो तिहारो ध्यान महावीर बजरंगी पवन पुत्र अंजनी दुलारे पवन पुत्र अंजनी दुलारे रघुनंदन के प्राण पियारे जय 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 हनुमान जय जय हनुमान महावीर बजरंगी तुम बड़े वीर बलवान महावीर बजरंगी महावीर बजरंगी महावीर बजरंगी महावीर बजरंगी महावीर बजरंगी त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम् कृष्णं विष्णुं श्रीधरं माधवं मधुसूदनं कृष्णं विष्णुं श्रीधरं माधवं मधुसूदनं कृष्णं विष्णुं श्रीधरं माधवं मधुसूदनं कृष्णं विष्णुं श्रीधरं माधवं सूदनं गोविन्दं 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 श्रीरामं गोविन्दं 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 श्रीरामं रामं रामं रघुपति रामं रामं रघुपति रामं रामं रघुपति रामं रामं रघुपति कृष्णं विष्णुं श्रीधरं माधवं मधुसूदनं कृष्णं विष्णुं श्रीधरं माधवं मधुसूदनं जय गोविंदा माधवं मधुसूदनं Madhavam Madhusudanam, Madhavam Madhusudanam, Madhavam Madhusudanam. प्रेम से समापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम। आसन लीजिए सब लोग। Let us all take our seats.
Sankhya Television is not only the first Hindu TV station in Trinidad and Tobago, but Sankhya TV also has the most coverage. Sankhya TV covers events held by all branches of Hinduism, thus making the reach of Sankhya TV far and wide. Our advertisers not only benefit from the most competitive advertising packages on the market, but our viewership base is so diverse that your message is sure to reach its target audience. So call right now at 225-2770, 339-6